Hello, I am back, and we have been working on our mini pages that have the different flaps or fold outs on them. So the one that I want to show you that we're going to make is one that opens like this and like this. Isn't that fun? So you've got your upper flap, your bottom flap, and then when you open up, you have got this whole page spread. So we've been working on a 6x8 sheet of paper. That's what I'm going to go to. Remember our base. We've already made our base. So let me put this one aside. And I'm going to show you from scratch how to put the magnets on. So we want to cut our paper. We're going to do 2 flaps, but they are going to be half flaps. So we have to cut our sheet in half. So we want to make sure they are 6 inches wide. And each flap needs to be 4 inches because we're dividing the paper in half. Since our sheet was 8 inches long, we know we want them to be 4 inches, but we have to make sure we have a flap to attach them with, so we want to have that 1 inch score. So I'm going to cut it 5 by 6, set that one aside, and another one we're going to cut 5 by 6. Now, remember, we're going to take 1 inch off. What I do on my one piece here is I take it up just barely, and I take off just a hair from the bottom. Sometimes you might have to just move it a little further. Reason being, whether it's the way I cut my papers or the way the papers are made, I always find they're a little off. This way, I know for sure they're going to meet and not overlap each other. So, I'm getting this. Let's take our scoreboard. We have our 6 inches width. And what you're going to do is, because you want to keep it at your 6 inches, because we're going long ways, we're going to score it at the 4. There's our first one. And we're going to score the next one at a 4. Set our tools aside. Let me move this one aside while we prepare our flap. So, let's go ahead and fold it over using our foam folder. Make it nice and smooth. This is some heavy duty cardstock I'm using from Hobby Lobby, and I really love it, especially if you want to have a rustic look on your albums. Then again, I'm going to pull out my 3/8 of an inch score tape because I love the way I can get it 2 pieces. I know it's going to stick at the top, it's going to stick at the bottom, and I don't have to worry about the tape overlapping in the middle. So let's get another one. And I apologize, I forget sometimes I'm on camera, so I just start scrapbooking away and you can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, let's make sure our tape's down nice and secure. One thing I do with the score tape is I do make sure my ends don't overlap. You can bend it over, but I prefer that nice clean edge. One reason you're going to see me using score tape on everything I do is I have found that my ATG gun, as much as I loved it and it was easy to use, well, the tape was not easy to use. It liked to get stuck everywhere else, and I ended up wasting the tape. That's why I've gone to my score tape. Okay, our first flap, we know we want to lift up. So we're going to put it right here on the top of our page. Before I take the tape off my second one, I put it down here at the bottom, and I make sure we're not going to be overlapping so that I can have 2 pages open freely. And as you can see, for me, it's a little bit close, so I am going to get out my cutter, and I'm going to take just a little bit more off that edge. And you know, it doesn't matter if there's a little space, because that's when you can use decorative emblems, like I use the soccer ball on one, and you can fill that space up. So let's make sure we're not going to be overlapping, but as you can see, there will be just a little bit of a space between the two flaps. So let's go ahead and take our score tape off this one and move this up. Let me just turn it so that you can see better what I'm doing. And then we're going to match it up at the top here. Open it, make sure things are pushed down. And now you have a nice little fold out that adds a lot of interest to your mini albums. Now, let me go ahead and show you. I'm just going to show you on this top flap how I adhere the magnets. So as we looked at them before, these are the basic gray small. I have the large ones. I don't use them a lot. Maybe on huge, bigger projects, I just might. But what I do here is I take the first one, I put them together so that I can make sure I'm matching them up correctly. There's nothing worse than your magnets being off-centered. And if you've watched some of my other videos, I've mentioned in the videos that some of the ladies are using a washer from the hardware store and a magnet instead of two magnets to get more life. Remember, we don't want to be too close to that edge. Otherwise, your paper, it will show through your paper. And what I do is I just put it over, make sure it looks good. Take the tape off the magnet and just fold it over. Give it a nice rub down. And voila, you have a magnet on your page. And then you would do it again on this page if you wanted to have another magnet. And that is so easy, not even complicated. And I know some of you are scared to make these flaps and you're wondering how they're done, but they're done so easily. We did this one in less than 7 minutes, and that was with me talking on and on and on. So get your papers out, start cutting, and get your magnets ready, and make some awesome mini pages. See you later.